Hey guys, welcome back to another lesson with Cody Harris Aviation. Today I'm going to be going over slope operations, and I'm going to be attempting to use this nice piece of plywood in my new model helicopter to help demonstrate what I'm talking about. Start off at approximately a 5-foot hover, providing a little extra clearance, hovering a little bit higher than you normally would during typical operations. Because if you have a slope, or if you're doing a slope landing, it's pretty much assumed that you're doing an off-airport landing. So you want to have a little extra clearance there. First step is to clear the area, make sure there's no animals or people encroaching on your landing area. Next up, you're going to consider the wind direction as well as the speed. Preferably, let's say you have this slope here. You might have the wind coming from this direction or this direction. Do the best you can to approach and do the sit down in or facing into the wind. Next, you're going to talk about your slope stability and steepness, as well as potentially squishy ground, rocky areas, or dry grass that could be a fire hazard. Also, obstacles that could damage the tail rudder when you're doing these off-airport operations is quite a consideration as well. So as you're making your approach to the slope, you want to keep your eyes about 50 feet in front of the helicopter as you're making this approach. Keeping your eyes that far out front actually helps you stabilize the helicopter a little bit better than if you're focusing right in front, which tends to make you over control. Approach at approximately a 45-degree angle. So something like this angle here. As you get over the slope, use the pedals to bring the helicopter parallel with the slope. I'm going to slowly start lowering the collective and maintain your heading with the pedals. As your upslope skid makes contact with the slope, you want to add slight cyclic towards the slope to hold that skid in place. So gradually lower the collective, apply a little more left cyclic in this case as you lower the collective to hold the slope into to hold the skid into the slope. A consideration as the helicopter is set down is that you want to do it very gently, as if you're flying a helicopter with a fully articulated rotor system, it can actually cause ground resonance, which can actually be a fairly dangerous thing if it occurs. Continue lowering the collective until the downslope skid makes contact. As it makes contact, you want to gently rock the cyclic to check for stability and to just see how the helicopter is settled onto the landing surface. Once the downslope skid has made contact, continue lowering the collective until the full weight of the helicopter is on the skids. Once the full weight of the helicopter is now in the landing gear, you want to neutralize the cyclic, meaning you want to bring it back to the center position. Make sure the collective is all the way down, and you want to make sure that your anti-torque pedals are in the neutral position. The reason for centering the cyclic in this case is you want to increase the amount of clearance that the rotor blades have on the upward side of the helicopter. As you can see right here, you might have very little clearance, and if someone were to approach from the upslope side of the helicopter, the potential for catastrophic injury is pretty high. Alright, I think that's about it, guys. See you next Thursday.